That's effectively what they are. There have been a lot of talk about procedures and rules and guidelines, but actually dealing with the substantive issues which are at the heart of this problem, that hasn't begun yet.
Live pictures here, let me remind you of the orange parade on the Dublin Road in Belfast, Dublin Road and Bedford Street, outside the BBC here indeed. Stephen, one last thing, what are the implications for Sir Hugh Ainsley?
Well, he's in a very difficult position now. He's already, we know that he's going later this year. And the problem is that just about everyone is calling for his resignation. The Alliance Party, the Irish government are deeply unhappy. Even the unionist leaders are deeply unhappy. They argue that he should have taken the decision he took yesterday on Sunday and saved 4 nights of violence and stopped things from getting to this sort of fever pitch.
OK, well, there's a gap coming up in the parade here, and I'll use that opportunity to hand you back to Walter.
Very much indeed, Noel, thank you. Here we are looking down towards the Ulster Hall, past the Ulster Hall, down towards Donegal Square. And with me I have the Orange historian, Dr. Clifford Smith. Clifford, first of all, what would you say about the general mood today? Is it more subdued?
It certainly was more subdued earlier in the morning, but the crowd has been deepening as the time has gone on, and people seem to be becoming a bit more relaxed than they were, say, an hour ago.
Well, we have had a succession of bands passing us here at our observation point, and I must say the turnout is very, very smart, this band passing us now.
Well, one of the great changes that have taken place in the 12th demonstrations of Belfast has been the remarkable improvement in the quality of the music and in the styling and uniforms of the bands. And this results from a distinct effort by the County Grand Lodge of Belfast to improve that quality.
This is the Lark Hall Purple Heroes Band from Scotland, and it underlines another point that a lot of Scottish Orangemen come here, a lot of Scottish bands come here as well.
The Belfast 12th would be entirely different without the tremendous influx of Scottish participant bands, and there's great enthusiasm right across Scotland for those that come over to the demonstration here, and that includes also actual Orange Lodges that come over from Scotland. Just at the moment we're picking up on a famous Belfast scene, and that's the great crane at Harlan's there, which is carried on Sydenham LOL's banner.
Yes, and of course that represents one of the aspects of the banners which shows a lot of the industries of Northern Ireland.
Well, Orangeism embraces a lot of the working class, and so industrial and craft themes appear on the banners with great regularity.
When we look down the street here and see the panoply of the banners and the bannerets, in fact, in a way, it's a sort of history, isn't it?
It is. The banners convey their own history, and it's the history of ordinary people. We see churches, we see schools, we see buildings, we see politicians, and we also see industry.
What about the tradition of marching? It goes right back to the start, does it?
It goes right back to the start of Orangeism with the early demonstrations remembering the Battle of the Boyne, which actually took place on the 1st of July, not on the 12th of July. We have another shot here of this famous landmark in Belfast now, the great crane at Harlan Wolff.
That raises another point about the banners. How often are new banners brought in with a lodge? They would have a life of, I'm sure, what, 20 years?
Some banners are said to last 20 years. The banners in my own lodge amazingly lasted over 40. But buying a new banner is an extremely expensive item, and a lodge has to work very hard to raise the money to produce one of these great banners.
And we have there William on the white horse. That's an interesting point. Was it a white horse?
I believe that there was a white horse. In fact, I have an old letter from the time when King William arrived at Torbay describing his visit to Exeter, and it said that he brought a white horse with him, so he definitely had a white horse in his retinue. But I'm sure that a prince of that nobility wasn't short of the odd horse or two.
Now, many people refer to King Billy and others to Prince William. Was it king or prince at the time?
That is an excellent question. He was effectively the king of Great Britain at that time, so he's styled King William, the man that crossed the Boyne.
Well, as we look right down Bedford Street there towards Donegal Square, they come round the front of the City Hall and past the Cenotaph. They make their way up through here to the Dublin Road, and the House of Orange is there, isn't it?
The House of Orange is situated on the Dublin Road. At the moment we're watching number 6 district, who've walked across from East Belfast this morning, and it's one of the largest districts in the whole of Belfast and one of the most progressive.
A very smart band here with the pale grey jackets and the dark trousers with the blue stripe on the leg.
And interestingly, you had the banner being carried not by orange men, but it was actually lashed to the motor car there. So somebody had felt the burden and the heat of the day and decided that the banner had to be carried by the vehicle.
What about the use of cars in the parade? That presumably with the benefit of older orange men and perhaps the people who are infirm.
Well, there's a tremendous number of people who need motor cars to transport them to the 12th, but the fact of the matter is it does cause problems, logistical problems, in the parade.
Well, we're still looking down there and taking a close-up view of some of those passing by. Number 76 or 76 there. It's quite a colourful spectacle, isn't it? And of course the day is very important in weather terms. If you get a very strong breeze, some of these banners would have great difficulty.
Well, there's always the danger that in stormy conditions the banners will actually rip, and as they're such costly items, great care has to be taken of them.
Clifford, I'm just wondering if you could say something about the membership of the Orange Order today. Is it a working class organisation, or is it across the community?
As far as Orangism in general is concerned, it's right across the community, from the unemployed to the aristocrat, from the professional to the apprentice, but particularly in Belfast it's largely a working class organisation, and so it bears great comparison with the Orange Institution in Glasgow, which is the same social makeup.
Well, in contrast to all the cars in the procession, we have, of course, the horse-drawn carriages, which are still important, and obviously they would have been much more in evidence in the past.
Well, I don't know whether they'd have been as much in evidence in the past, because a lot of the old photographs suggest that there weren't very many of them, but certainly it's a very delightful feature of the parade and much appreciated by the crowd and no doubt by those who are enjoying the ride.
Well, this marks the end of District 6 as they take a short break there, and we're moving on to a combined district, because there are actually 10, numerically 10, but 7 and 8 are combined, so in effect there are 9 districts now.
That's correct. Because of the smaller numbers, it was decided that it would be best to bring about a merger of those two districts, and that has been brought off very, very successfully.
And this lodge, combined, or district I should say, 7 and 8, is the only one, I believe, with its own landau, horse-drawn landau.
Apparently so. I don't recall any others appearing in the parade.
And this is a Scottish band, the Govan Protestant Boys, who have come over from Glasgow. Again, very smart military-style uniforms.
Well, it's being argued that the improvement that we've seen in the orange bands in Belfast is being carried across to Scotland, and there's much more pride being taken in the uniforms and deportment and even the music of these traditional orange bands.
The John E. Hall Memorial Lodge 1118, founded in 1919. And John Hall, I believe, was a prominent member of Belfast Orange Hall and what was then number 7 district. There is a reference to the Sandy Row Flute Band, again another of the visiting bands, this one from Glasgow.